What's going on, everybody? This is JVB from the Post Game Report podcast and talking about games.com. Here I'm playing PlanetSide 2 on the PlayStation 4. From my understanding, it's still in somewhat beta form, but it's a free-to-play game. You can also, if you choose to, purchase items that will give you somewhat of an edge. I've been playing it for about 2 hours straight. I'm actually surprised, and in the background, it sounds like PlanetSide 2. There was like some loud freaking explosion. But it is the 4th of July, so happy Independence Day, everyone. So, PlanetSide 2. I wasn't really impressed with it when I first played the alpha or the beta, whatever it was at the time that I played it. I wasn't really impressed. It starts you off with a training mission, and the mission can go on and on from what I played. It reminds me of MAG, which was on the PlayStation 3, and MAG, which stood for multi. I don't know. I even forgot what the hell MAG stood for. I'm here trying to explain something that I totally forgot about. So I apologize about that. If you remember the name of MAG, leave it on the comment section. But I enjoyed MAG for what it was, and what MAG did was it split you off into different squads. And each squad had their own little territory to do some combat or finish some objectives. And everything coincided with each other. So, because I was on one side of the map with my squad taking care of business, at the end of the mission, everything came together and everybody's squad or everyone that was in a particular area of the map, what they did count towards the overall objective, which was to win that particular map, take over a base or whatever it was. But MAG, it had I believe 200 plus players or something like that online. Now, not simultaneously, but at one time in the servers. So you were never really going to play with 200 plus people. But if you look at the map, you saw the enormity of the map and the amount of players, you would see that there were people within the servers playing at the same time as you. It's just, I believe the maximum was 12 per squad or something like that. Could have been even less. But PlanetSide 2 reminds me of that, but without the limitations of not being able to see the amount of people you're playing with. Now with PlanetSide 2, you're seeing planes, you're seeing automobiles, jetpacks, different types of weapons, and it's really, it's definitely, because this is based on the PC port, so you definitely feel that PC portness. Now, what I mean by that, you can tell that the aiming was meant for mouse and keyboard. With mouse, you can get more precision, faster reflexes. So, if you have fast reflexes with a keyboard and mouse, you're going to have a huge advantage over someone with holding a console controller. There's no debating that. So, with the PS4, you can actually play games with keyboard and mouse. I wouldn't try it. I used to play Quake, Unreal Tournament, those games with keyboard and mouse, but it's been a long time. But you can tell that there's a PC feel to PlanetSide 2, and I'm actually a little more impressed by what I played today. I played a few hours straight. I went from a 0 to a level 8 in those 2 hours. There were objectives. Unfortunately, I couldn't squad up with people that I knew. Like, I don't know if there's a way to squad up with people that you know on your friends list and form a team and take care of some objectives a la MAG. I'm sure there is, but there's so much to do and to learn in PlanetSide 2 that it can get a little overwhelming. So you have to put in some legitimate time into PlanetSide 2 if you want to upgrade your weapons, if you want to unlock vehicles and aircrafts, and just get better overall. Now, as I stated, if you want to spend real-world money, you can. I don't know how that's going to affect the game itself, if someone takes advantage of that and just decides to go crazy and spend $60 worth of upgrades, which would be the normal price of a game, what type of advantage is that going to give them? Based on what I played, there's definitely $60 worth of gameplay in PlanetSide 2, and actually I spent 2 hours on the same level, just going back and forth with the opposing team, and we're trying to take control of certain points of the map, and it just kept going back and forth, so I really enjoyed it. I look forward to playing with more people on my friends list, finding out the true potential of PlanetSide 2. It's not the best looking game that's out there, but it's a really massive multiplayer game, and it's free to play, so you can try it out for yourself. If you don't like it, delete it from your hard drive. If you do like it, my PlayStation Network name is JV Beta, so you can hit me up. I would enjoy playing this with people on my friends list, so that we can all chat, we can all team up, figure out what we're going to do for the next objective, and it just feels that good. Like, you can have up to 6 or 8 people in one giant truck. You can have about 3 to 4 people on a spaceship or an aircraft. You have turrets on the aircrafts. You have you have a pilot and all that good stuff. So it's really impressive at the amount of things going on. As I stated, don't expect true awe-inspiring visuals, because you're not going to get it on PlanetSide 2. But it does look good enough that you are willing to play it. And as I stated, feels familiar, feels like most first-person shooters. And you can program the sensitivity of the aim, the Y-axis, and all that good stuff. So you can customize it to play as you want to play. So that's that. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about some video game stuff out in the internet, in the forums, the Facebook pages, Twitter, all that good stuff, the places that I frequent when I want to talk about video games. There's the notion that one console doesn't have exclusives while the other one has exclusives. Now, I don't like to get deep into this petty argument, because it is quite petty. I own the Xbox One, I own the PlayStation 4, so I'm not missing out on anything, unfortunately. And this is not a bash on anyone in particular, or a bash on people that only own one or the other. I have a privilege, I have a luxury. Owning both is a luxury at this point. But for those that own only one console, let's say they only own the Xbox One, there's a plethora of third-party video games right now that they can enjoy. Now, what I mean by third-party video games, I'm talking about Assassin's Creed, I'm talking about Batman Arkham Knight, which is a phenomenal game. So you have those particular games to play, and you have them on the PlayStation 4 as well. Now, there's a debate over which one runs which better. That's for another day, another topic. I'm not going to get into that one. Now, when it comes to console exclusives, there's a whole nother world. There's a whole nother... I mean, those particular words can create a lot of tension, create days of freaking back and forth banter between people, no matter where you're at. You mention the word exclusives, either on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, and you're going to hear a lot, or you're going to read a lot of just going back and forth, people just basically saying the same things every time, but it's always the cause of debates. Now, what I'm going to say is not going to eliminate that, but I figured why not throw my 2 cents in. So, as it stands right now as a PlayStation 4 owner and Xbox One owner, when it comes to console exclusives, the PlayStation 4 has quite a substantial amount of console exclusives. So does the Xbox One. Now, what people tend to mistake, or the biggest mistake that people tend to do on the internet when given a soapbox to stand on, they take their personal opinion, their personal preference, and they preach it as if it's fact. So I stated that both consoles currently have exclusives out. But Bloodborne, which is on the PlayStation 4, does not appeal to everyone. Neither does Ori and the Blind Forest, which is exclusive to the Xbox One. Both, in my opinion, are great games. State of Decay. Now you can argue that it is on the that it is on the PC and is on the Xbox 360, but if you want to play State of Decay and you want to play maybe what most people would consider the best version, you would play that on the Xbox One. And from what I hear, it's a good game. A lot of my friends who own a PlayStation 4 as well really enjoyed State of Decay on the Xbox 360. So, if I want to play that, I can play it on my Xbox One. To me, that's a console exclusive because I cannot play it on the PlayStation 4, and that's basically the whole argument. Which games are available on the Xbox One, which games are available on the PlayStation 4. We can argue PC, but PC is a different beast. PC can be modded, PC can be upgraded the way we like it. And I posted this the other day. I can play Mario games, I can play Nintendo games on a PC. So technically, I don't count PC as a home console. It's a whole different beast. If I could play every video game in existence on a PC, well, not every video game. I can't play Uncharted games. I can't play, let's say, Gears of War 3 or things of that sort. But if I can play every Atari game in existence, Mario game in existence, I mean, you know what I mean. If there's a way to play old Sega games on a PC, chances are it has already been done. So you really can't count that. You really can't count PC. If you have a great PC that can handle, let's say, PlanetSide 2 in 4K resolution with every special effect on maximum, then God bless you. You have the better version. And there's no debating that. But when it comes to home consoles, what we consider home consoles, we're talking about the Nintendo Wii U, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. You get the idea. So when people talk about exclusives, there's the argument that one doesn't have a certain amount than the other. When in reality, there are quite a bit of exclusives on each console. Now it all depends which ones we care to acknowledge. For example, Toro, which is a bullfighting game on the Xbox One. That's a console exclusive, but come on. Nobody's bragging about Toro on the Xbox One. Same thing can be said for some of the games that are, some of the quote-unquote indie games that are exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Some of them aren't worth even mentioning. But that's just part of the game. You're going to get a lot of bad ones, you're going to get a lot of good ones. It all depends on which ones we're willing to acknowledge. Ori and the Blind Forest, you have Smite, you have and it's not that I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but there's a substantial amount of exclusives on the Xbox One. And the same can be said on the PlayStation 4, but people just choose what they want to acknowledge. And that is the problem. So, if you find yourself in the middle of this console debate over which console has exclusives, do yourself a favor. Leave the forum for 2 minutes, Google it yourself, and come back with facts. Don't depend on people to tell you which console has the most exclusives. Do yourself the favor and find out for yourself. It takes a few minutes and you feel better about your purchase or your potential purchase, and you don't have to deal with the mischief that goes on the internet. If you want to go laugh, then yeah. But until then, stay away and do your own homework. So that's that. But anyway, I'm JVB. You guys have a great 4th of July. Talk to you later.